So let me start with that, and then we'll go into what we need to do today. So as you guys probably have heard by now, I'm sure you have, or hopefully you have, there's a Momentum Day happening in London on September 21st. It's actually where a lot of new things in the company will be rolled out. For those of you that have kind of been in the loop with us, you know that we've been meeting with Jay and Stu quite often while Stu's been here. So I'm not going to blow up any spots, but there's some amazing stuff coming down, and we've really been masterminding and brainstorming some amazing things for you guys. So with that being said, September 21st is Momentum Day. There's a $100 discount if you register by the end of the month. So make sure if you're planning on going that you get yourself all sorted out before the end of the month. Today is what day? The 29th. So that really means you have, let's see, you have 1, 2, 3, basically 3 more days to do that. So I highly encourage you guys, if you're planning on going, to might as well save $100.
Hey, Elon, it's Kubasek. How are you, man?
Oh, hey, buddy.
Hey, what's going on? Can I hop out real quick? Don't mean to hide.
No. No, you cannot.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. I'll just beat myself back up then.
Yeah.
Is Guy there as well?
Yeah,
I think I hear.
I'm here. I'm giggling in the background.
How you doing, brother?
What's up, brother?
Hey. Good. It's good to see you last week. Guy's birthday last week, a big 3-0. So a big happy birthday from the entire community.
Thank you, sir.
When is your actual birthday, though?
September 8th.
Oh, okay, so it's coming up.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you get
It's on your 30th, though. It's like a birthday month, technically. So
I'm doing a birthday. I'm doing a birthday year this year.
He's on course.
Yeah. All good. 30 is a great year. 3 decades. It's a great year. But no, what I just wanted to add regarding Momentum Day there. Like you said, Guy, there's a $100 discount. It's not really about the discount, though. That's just designed to be a little incentive for those of you that are members. The Momentum Day that we have planned is really going to be extraordinary. There's just no question about it. Comparatively speaking to, content-wise, what you're going to get at the event, not just from a training standpoint, but from, proprietary information, behind the scenes. There's so much. The value of this is thousands of dollars. It's also, I wanted to point out, a ticket for 2 people. So if you have a business partner or a husband, wife, spouse, girlfriend, etc., it's a ticket for 2. And the other thing I wanted to point out was that it includes lunch as well. We considered doing this, where people worry about their own lunch, and we wanted it to be much more of an experience where it's much more. It's more of an experience. People don't have to run off and find their own lunch. And if you know anything about venues and hotels, that's where they make their money, by charging $6 for a can of Coke and $13 for a half a sandwich and things like that. So food is extremely expensive to be able to do it through their catering department. But it's a decision we made because it's going to add to the value of the day, and the benefit to everybody is it's just a much better experience. Now, the other reason you want to be there, we mentioned this on the Founders Call, and then next Thursday is, I can't believe the next Founders Call is coming up in a week already. But September 21 is the last day of founding member era, so to speak. And we are going to be announcing on the Founders Call coming up next Thursday some more of the things that are going to be changing post-Founders era. But this particular Momentum Day is going to serve as a launch point for the future, because we're going to be doing presentations and bringing speakers in. I mentioned James Hickey coming in with our rolling out our new local marketing certification. So that's going to be launched there. There's going to be the new revamped silver, gold, platinum, black products, which have been expanded, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be special opportunities for those of you that come and participate in this event. I'm not going to say what they are right here, but there are going to be some one-time and some very special opportunities for you to be involved at the ground floor with us as we move to the next phase. So there is a reason why you want to be there. Another reason you want to be there, especially if you're within driving distance or a short flight from Europe, is, in my experience over the years, the number one thing that separates those who have results and those who don't. The number one thing, it's not marketing skills, it's not technical skills, it's not communication skills, it's not any of those things. I've seen people with all of those skills struggle for 3 years, unable to ever turn a profit online. The only common denominator that I've seen in my 10 years online, the only common denominator that I've seen that every single person who has results shares in common is that they believe in what they're doing. Now, you might think that you believe in what you're doing. You might think, oh, here goes Jay again, belief, rah, whatever. But let me tell you something. In a virtual world where we live in a virtual world. Right now, where I'm speaking to you through an internet connection, you could be halfway around the world. Yes, it's real in the sense that it's happening right now. It's real time. It's live. But there is an element to business that you cannot learn digitally. That you can only learn in person. And it's not even an element in business. It's a human element that has to do with people being in the same place. Okay? So when you have a group of people who are in the same place with the same objectives, looking for the same outcomes, the same dreams, the same aspirations, there's a compound effect that every person in that group receives from being part of that group that you can't receive by being part of a group of 5 people or even a group of 10 people. There's something that comes in with being in a certain size of a group. So these events are designed to be a certain size. Another example of this and why this is so incredibly critical, we have a gold and a platinum event coming up here in October as well. And we actually had a gold and platinum event scheduled for Red Bank, New Jersey about a month ago. And we had to make the very difficult decision last minute. It wasn't last minute, it was in the last week, that because a certain number of people pulled out and asked if they could move and come to the London event, it reduced the size of the workshop to where the participants themselves cannot get the result of the workshop if there's not enough participants in the workshop. And it's because there's a pure aspect or pure value that is derived from being in these groups. As a founding member, if you were at the Momentum Day, if you want to call it that, or the Elite Special Training Day that I spoke at last October, you have a sense of how incredible these events are. And if you have any, if you were at that one, you have a sense of what's coming here. I mean, this one is so much more than even that was, because we're a year into this now, and we have just some extraordinary things that we're doing that are going to create such incredible opportunity for wealth and abundance for so many people, including yourself. So just take it from, as your coach, as your mentor, as a leader in the community. I'm sure Guy and Alon can share from their experience. There's one thing that all top income earners have in common, and that is they do what other top income earners do. They don't wait for the results to get the belief, because they understand the whole chicken and egg scenario. They understand that the belief comes before the results. So it's $150. It includes a ticket for 2. I know we said it wasn't going to cost much more than a family dinner at McDonald's. Apparently, McDonald's, I guess I didn't mention that, you probably have to have 10 kids to cost $150. Or maybe just McDonald's is more expensive in Canada than it is in the UK. I don't know. But the point is just be there. Just be there. It is going to be just an incredible event. And we also have, I should also say, we also have limited capacity. I believe there are less than 70 some odd tickets left, because we've got a room. I don't know what the cap is, but I believe it's going to be a relatively 60 left? Yeah, so there's only a limited number of tickets left. So go ahead and register. And I really, really look forward to seeing you there. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to make that little impassioned, little plea to you. Come for your own sake. Come for our sake. You can't afford to miss this. It's going to be a lot of fun as well, and this is the beginning of the next 10 years, really. I mean, the last year has been foundational, structure, construction site, building the parts of the business that are below the surface, the parts that you don't really see. But now the foundation is starting to poke up above the surface of the ground, and what you'll start to see is this like Freedom Tower, gleaming Freedom Tower being built over the next 10 years, and you are part of that. So please don't miss out on that. Guy, Ilan, do you have any personal experience you want to share on live events and attending events like this, and from your experience, what it's been like to be a participant, but also to be leading at events like this, because you guys will be there as well, with playing a very special role at this event. And I don't want to let the chicken out of the bag there, or the cat out of the bag. maybe you can share a little bit of just your standpoint, just from marketer to marketer.
Absolutely. So a couple of things. One, as a whole, I would hope that most of you guys join a community like SFM, because it's very easy as an entrepreneur to get like that hermit syndrome where you just get stuck at home. But at the end of the day, this is still a business. I don't know any business in the entire world that's not built on your relationships and your connections. This business is no different. So if you think you're going to, be a six-figure earner, multiple six-figure earner, seven-figure earner, and not go to these events, you're really sorely mistaken. Aside from the fact that it's a blast, all the connections, partnerships, best ideas, all that stuff that I've ever had have come from live events, period. Personally,
look at the proof actually in that, Guy. I mean, I met you and Ilan at an event. It was a mastermind event. It was a different type of an event than this, but that was where we met. There was an instant connection.
Exactly.
That formed the beginning of not only multiple business partnerships and relationships, but personal friendships as well. Stuart and I met at an event. I've met two other previous business partners, came from just random people that I met at events. What I got from my first event, now that I just think about it, was just the belief like, wow, if these geezers can do it, I can do it too. I mean, I just remember seeing, I just remember that my first event is like, oh, I wasn't sure if I could do it, but now I know I can do it. But anyway, go on there. It's the relationship thing is so critical.
Yeah, and then the second thing is kind of riding off the coattails of what you just said, which is, for me, and I'm sure for guys the same, like, we're big into visualization. And I'll never forget the first event we were at. I looked on stage, and I saw people getting awards, and I just, in my brain, like, for me, sometimes seeing something that I didn't know was possible or I didn't know was real in the world, like, when you see it, you now have something new to strive for. And at these events, what tends to happen is, like, you'll see someone on stage, and for me it was huge. Like, I said I wanted to be leading on the stage that following year. And we made that happen, and, like, I don't know if I didn't go to that event, I would have never even thought that was possible, but I literally watched from from my chair, looking out there going, I can do this. Mm-hmm. I know I can do this. I want to do this. And then I fought that entire year to make that a reality. So aside from the partnerships and all that stuff, I'm saying from like a visualization exercise, from a belief standpoint that leads to crazy actions that you never dreamed possible for yourself, it will catapult your business in a way that you can't. There's nothing that you can say like right now, okay, I'm going to pay $100, $150, and is it worth it for my business, blah, blah, blah. You cannot quantify these things, because literally whatever you put into it will come back to you tenfold without question. Without question. So that's my piece about
that. Yeah, Guy, actually, Stuart, give me permission to let a little kitten out of the bag. here.
Oh no!
Well, it's actually more of a lion. It's not really a kitten. I'm lying. But one of the things we're using this event for, well, there's two things. Well, there's three things. It's the end of the founding era, so we're using it as that celebration, demarcation point for that, and the announcement of what's coming. But also, we're using, there will be keynote presentations that we are doing, myself and Stuart, that will ultimately be recorded as part of the new boot camp. Okay? So you're going to get, you might think to yourself, guys, you just barely finished the boot camp. You're going to redo the boot camp? Yeah, we're redoing the boot camp. And it's going to be completely next level compared to what we have here. But then third, we're using this as an opportunity to do special trainings that have never been done before, that will be done in a live setting, recorded, and potentially part of future products. One of them that I just alluded to there was...
Jay, hold on one second, buddy. Hold on.
You guys have heard of Lee and Tammy.
You have a bad echo. Bro, put in headphones or mute up.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me throw in headphones. Hold on, Jay. Sorry, buddy.
Go ahead, Jay.
You're good.
Okay, see if that's any better. Okay, that sounds good. So the little kitten that I mentioned, you guys all know who Lee and Tammy are. They're the number 1 or number 2 producers since we launched. Close to $300,000 in their first 10 months. You've never heard them training on their traffic strategies, or if you have, you've had privilege of something that I haven't had. But we have managed to convince and coerce and contort and twist Lee and Tammy's arms to spend 90 minutes teaching traffic strategies that, quite honestly, we don't even know what they're doing. So it's when we say it's a special opportunity, it's a special opportunity in that sense. The cool thing about where we are as a company now is we're starting to get some really significant, substantial success stories. You've got Sean and Kelly Hodgson on the leaderboard right now. They're in the business less than 2 months. You've got Mark Ford, who's been in the business several years, but all of a sudden, how did he float onto the leaderboards? And I can go on and on, right? So it's an opportunity to come and to meet and connect and mastermind with other people that are getting results. And I'll tell you right now, if you come to this event with your hand out thinking me, what's in it for me, what's in it for me, you'll get your $150 worth. But if you come to this event with the attitude of, look, I'm coming, everything that I learn, everything that I'm taught, everything that I'm given and shown, I'm going to be grateful for, and I'm going to see what I can also contribute to other people at the event. If we all come with that mindset of giving back as well, you end up everybody ends up taking so much more home than if everybody just comes with their hand out. And I think this event, because it's a private community event, this is not available to the public. So it's not you have to be a member of the SFM to even come, because this is an event that we would normally charge thousands of dollars for. So it's also a benefit of being a member that you get to come to an event that's worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in the marketplace. You get to access that event for $150, essentially for the cost of your, the cost of the basics. Just covers our costs. And that's the whole point of this event. So I want to make sure that you understand the vision behind it, and so that you understand also the value of your SFM membership. That, and maybe this is something that we could do a better job in the future of framing. Look, the value of these events is thousands of dollars, but as a member, you get it, at cost, essentially. So that's what I really want you to take away. And then the other thing I want to kind of settle your mind to rest with is that this is not one of those pitch fests where you're going to be pitched on anything. There are some key dates, there are some key promotions, there will be some things that you have the opportunity to take care of. This is not about getting a group of people into a room and trying to sell them. That's not who we are, that's not what we do. This is an event that's designed to build momentum for the company moving into fall. And that is where we ultimately all win. So I'm going to shut up, guys, because I could just go on forever about this stuff. I'm so passionate about it.
Bro, is there anything you wanted to say?
No, I mean, I couldn't agree more. You know, I don't even think we would have a company. There would be no Satori Prime if we had never been to a live event. And kind of like Jay said it, and I always tell people when I share this experience, you know, I got into this business. I had a lot of confidence around what I thought I could do, mostly because I heard the way and the mindset of people who talked at the top, and I knew that I had those qualities as well. But I remember going to the first event, and, you know, I was someone who thought they could succeed, but the shift for me was knowing that I could. That was massive. And I know that if I hadn't gone to that first event, Elon wouldn't be part of this company. It's the whole reason he joined, because I came back and I was just so lit up by the people I was around, the training I was getting, that it was just so much more about than just business for me, but growing as a person. And I remember I came home and I missed the last day because I didn't know there was like 10 for 10 training. I literally like flew out for like 2 days to Phoenix, and I came home and I bought the streaming training from Sunday. And I knew we only had like 72 hours or something to watch it. So I said, Elon, go watch this. He said, what the hell am I watching? I said, I don't care if you understand what they're saying or not. Just listen to who they're being. And if that moment hadn't occurred, Elon wouldn't be part of this business. There'd be no Satori Prime. We wouldn't be where we're at. So you just never know. And I've always gotten a lot of quality from coming to live events. So, you know, whether you have to stretch for it or whether it's a hop, skip, and a jump for you, whatever you got to do to get there, get yourself there, because it's not just going to profoundly change your business. It's going to profoundly change your life, because you're going to start talking to people who are like-minded, and most or some are where you want to be. And for you to discover how you need to develop yourself to become that kind of person, you have to go to these kind of events. It's so critical for your business. I cannot overstate it enough, or understate it, whichever way that works.
Congratulations to Matthias from Sweden, who just registered. So with that, guys, I will mute up here and let you guys get on with your Thursday Master Marketing webinar.
Cool.
And thanks
Thanks,
for sharing your
Awesome.
experience on that. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jay. We'll talk to you soon.
Good to hear your voice, buddy.
Yep. Cheers. Cheers, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Some people asked just how do they enroll. Guys, in your back office, when you log in, there's a huge banner there. I could show my screen and share it if you guys would like. But there's a big old banner. Just click on it and you will get the information that you need. Let me show you right here. There you go. It's right over here. Right when you log in, just click on that and you can get all the info you need right over there, okay? And you see there's a registration link and a Google Maps to get there, and the whole spiel. All right, so with that said, guys, yeah, definitely get there if you can, and even if you can't, figure out how you can. But let's get going today, because we only have an hour. So we go, bro. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
I do. We had we wanted to do something interesting, and it's funny. Michelle was just I just literally about to read something, and then Michelle wrote, "I shared an awesome personal experience on stage with Guy and Elon at an event." So one of the things that we wanted to do some personal development stuff with you guys today, and one of the things that we were, blessed enough, I guess, to do when we did the event last in Dallas was to actually bring someone up on stage, unscripted, and just really deal with what they were dealing with at the time.
Bro, can you just stop 1 second? You just sound really muffled to me. I don't know if you changed where the microphone is or disconnected or something. Okay.
No. How, is this better?
I mean, I can get you, but it's still sounding pretty muffled. I'm guessing it's like that for everybody.
How about now?
No, most of the same. All right, just keep going.
Really? Interesting. Hold on, let me, I'm just afraid if I unplug it and plug it back in, it won't be that great.
Just give it a whirl anyway.
Still muffled?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not terrible, but it's not fantastic either. Do what you gotta do.
Okay. So anyway, Guy and I were talking about doing something, and then I just, I was reading a book, rereading a book, which, by the way, if you guys haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. It's a book by an author called Robin Sharma, S-H-A-R-M-A, called The Saint, the Surfer, and the CEO. The tagline to it is, a remarkable story about living your heart's desires. So I just recommended it to someone else, and I literally went through this book, like, what are those called? Dog ears? What are they called when you bend the pages?
Dog ears.
Bro, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, dog
Dog
years.
ears? Yeah. So the book, like if you guys could see it, this book is more dog ears than actually blank pages because it just has so many beautiful quotes. So I just wanted to read something really quick. It'll take like 2-3 minutes. I'll just read a few quotes from here, but it's so perfect to, I think, what most everyone's going through. And then after this, what we really want to do is I want you just to find yourself and what you're going through in your business inside of what I'm going to read, okay? Make yourself present to that. And what we're going to do is actually give you guys the opportunity to come out here, and we're going to coach you one-on-one personally. We'll try to get through as many of you as possible so that you have a completely new perspective, and the thing that is stopping you right now no longer stops you. So that's the intention of today's call. So with that, let me just read this. Every day as you go out into the world, you're really going off to school. And just as in traditional school, there's a curriculum with different courses that offer different lessons. Once you pass a course by learning its lesson, you move on to the next course. And if I don't, and then the guy asks him, and if I don't get the lesson, then you repeat the course, of course. It's called recycling. Every experience that intersects with your life comes to you to teach you the lesson you most need to learn to rise to the next platform of your life. When the student is ready, the teacher always appears. Anyway, if you get this process and realize the opportunity for a lesson in every situation, you can move on to the next course. And as you move on from the old course, you also move on from your old life. Because interestingly enough, once you get the needed lesson, the type of person or situation that the lesson came wrapped up within never visits you again. It's almost as if you shed an old skin each time we get a new lesson, pass a new course, and move on to the next higher parts of your life. But if you don't accept the learning that the experience represents, let's say because you blame the other person involved for whatever transpired and fail to see the point of wisdom that you were destined to learn, the circumstance will continue to repeat or recycle in your life until you finally get it. And the more you miss the lessons being presented, the more painful each event that carries them to you becomes, until a time eventually comes when you're suffering so much that your only option is to get it. The natural laws that govern all things never cease to amaze me. So what I'm really saying is your current reality is nothing more than a complete reflection of the lessons you most need to learn. So I thought that was actually a perfect setup for what we were doing today, bro.
Love that. I remember Elon actually gave me that book for my birthday one year, right? I was like 25 or 26. Wrote me like a really nice message on the inside. And that's like one of those books when you read it, you feel like your hair is on fire. I remember that one and Celestine Prophecy for me were like the top. I actually didn't tell you, on the plane ride back here, I picked up Ishmael from home and almost read the entire book on the plane ride, like just like cover to cover. And it's like, again, I'm having that experience where like I want to buy that book and just like send it to like as many people as possible. The book is just so brilliant, it blows my mind. So but that one is incredible. I'm going to drop a link for you guys in there, so if any of you guys want to pick it up, you definitely can. But it's a hell of a read.
Yeah. So again, just encompass everything that I just said. Basically, everything that happens in your life, like the things that you resist the most. Have you noticed that life happens in a certain cyclical type of pattern, and things will start very slight. Things will like at first just irritate you, but on a very dull, if we're doing like a volume scale, 1 to 10, it'll be at a 1. And if you don't, for certain people, and that's why we say awareness is key, but if you have awareness to pick up the things at a 1 or 2 level, then you never ever get to the point where they're at an 8, 9, and 10. But for certain people, and look, I'm not saying this is fact or reality or anything like that. So I don't want people like bombarding our message boards with, you're an asshole and all that stuff. But, for people that get sick whether it's cancer or you know, some sort of illness, or people that have really violent accidents, you know, my thing on it is always there was something that they didn't see, and the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, had to send like a really big ass wake up call. And you've seen those people that have complete and utter transformations out of being sick or out of being in an accident. So my intention and my game in the world is that people no longer have to have those experiences to have the life lessons. Because if you can have awareness and you have eyes to see those lessons at the dull level, you know, at the little like this person is pissing me off level, then you never have to experience it at such a grand level. So today I want to give you all an opportunity, Guy and I want to give you all an opportunity to come out here, and whatever you've noticed in your life is a habitual pattern, things that keep showing up over and over and over and over again. I want you to come out on here and share, but share differently than you normally share. Not share as a complaint like, oh, this person is, not like that. I want you to share with the intention of actually letting it go. Like share with the intention of being open to learn the lesson right here, right now, so you never have to deal with the extravagant things that might be coming your way. So with that, I just want to open it to everyone and have whoever wants to come out and chat with us and be coached by us, do that now.
All right, guys. So yeah, head over to the box in Facebook, the comment box, and let us know if you want to come out here. And I know we did this kind of coaching about 3-4 months ago. And if you guys obviously know, a lot of you know Jeffrey Ross. I think he's not on these webinars as much because he has a newborn, and that's a whole other thing. But I remember for him specifically, just that was a beginning point of some huge things going on in his life, because he came out here and had this kind of experience with us. So definitely encourage, you know, whoever wants to come out here and get some really good coaching, whether it's just something that's going on in your life or with Said Your Business, we can definitely help you out and get some new perspective with that. And for you, Dr. Jill, the book is sitting above your comment in the comment box there. Let's see if we got anybody. Nobody yet.
Oh man, I'm gonna murder this name. Sackville. Also wrote that Robin wrote another book called Discover Your Destiny, which I haven't read. So that's going on my reading list.
Guys, yeah, this is an open floor webinar. We've done so much training this week and this month, and it's just a 5-week month. So we're a little bit off our normal schedule. So we really want to do something like this because, in our opinion, this is maybe the most powerful thing. Liam says he's got a question.
So does Janice. So bring out, I see Janice, Liam, and Kathleen.
Let's do in the order that they came out, right? So Janice was first. Janice, where are you, Janice? I don't think we've ever actually talked to you outside.
Yeah, we have.
On this webinar?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, Janice.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, that's jolly good.
Isn't technology grand?
Nice to speak to you.
You as well?
You as well.
Right, shall I just fire away?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, right, the beginning of this month, for example, I set a goal to get a certain amount of leads going, and then all of a sudden 3 weeks has gone by, and I've barely sort of tapped into that goal, and I find that that's something that happens to me quite a lot. That I you know, I want to do something, and there's probably a bit of self-sabotage inside me that that prevents me from doing that, even though I'm busy all the time. You know, I just don't seem to do quite as much as I'd like to.
Are you busy or are you productive?
Well, I think I'm more productive than I used to be. I'm kind of cranking that gear up a little bit, but yeah, I agree. I'm probably not as productive as that's the whole thing. I'm not as productive as I'd like to be. I'm just busy.
So, okay, I just want clarity, bro. Do you have clarity around the question?
No, not really.
Okay, so I just want clarity, Janice. So what's the actual
Okay.
issue that you feel like you're not focused, or are you just worried about leads or following up? Like,
Oh,
what's
no.
exactly the issue?
Okay, I think there's something inside me that holds me back from accomplishing what I want to accomplish. You know, something that prevents me, it's just a self-sabotage thing. I want to achieve certain things, you know, like the productivity that will get my business going more. And I guess there's something inside of me that steers me off to do, you know, perhaps write an article, take too long to do it, or it's probably a perfectionism thing. Do you get the gist now?
Here's how this is going to work. Here's why it's not. So this is what happens, and this is not just you. This happens to a lot of people. We tend to talk in generalities. In generalities, it's like anyone can come out here and be like, I'm not as productive as I want to be. I'm not as productive as I want to be. Right? Like it's not a real. It's when you talk in generalities, you're just talking in the ether.
Oh,
When you talk about like a specific time, a specific event, something, right? So
oh, okay.
what occurred or what is occurring in your world in a specific event where you're like, something is not working with that. You know, to talk in generalities is it's not going to get you anywhere.
Okay, right, okay, I didn't understand then. Would you want to give me a little while to think about that and get on with Liam or someone?
No.
Absolutely. But
No,
do you
I don't
understand
want
what
to.
I'm
I don't want to do that. I want to work through it. I want her to get into the I want to get into the specificity of what's happening. And like, so I have a question for you, because to me,
Okay.
the issue was around a fear of failure. That's what I heard anyway. So go ahead.
Either that or, fear of failure or fear of success. It's one of those two, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? And everything is the same. Everything is just a mirror of something else. It just depends on what side of the coin you see it through. But those to me are like one of the same issue, except for most people it really is success, because it's easier to fall from 3 feet than it is from 50. You know, when you're making $1 million and it screws up, that's way worse than when you're making $50 and you screw up. So, and Elon and I have lessons up the wazoo we could teach you about that. So, from losing a lot of money. So, I want you to look at an experience before Six Figure Mentors, and I want you to tell me something that you took on that you didn't complete, or that you perceived that you failed at it, or you gave up about it. Can you think of anything before you started this business?
Well, I've done 2 other programs before the Six Figure Mentors that that I started to do an online business, and both of those I just gave up.
Got it.
I
Okay.
just stopped doing.
Why did you give up? What was the conversation you were having with yourself?
It was probably more that I wasn't capable of doing something, that I couldn't understand what I needed to do, or I didn't feel the support was there.
Okay. And is your experience here different, or are you starting to see yourself walking down that same road again?
Not at all. The experience is different here. It's very different. I feel the support is here.
So the support has made a difference here.
Yeah.
Okay. And,
I wonder-
and go ahead.
sorry.
Keep going. Go ahead.
No, I'm just sort of sitting here thinking, I kind of work by myself, and is it to do with the feeling like an island kind of thing? That I guess that's kind of like a story of my life, that I've never been part of a crowd. I've always been quite independent, and do you know what I mean? So it's
Preaching to the choir right now.
perhaps difficult to reach out to people, maybe
Yeah.
to ask for help.
Yeah. And I would say that's a pervasive problem for everybody. I'll just tell you from our lives, we are immigrants in this country. All we have is, I have my brother, I have my 2 parents. We did everything ourselves growing up. I mean, we were super hands-on. When it was like time to cut a tree in the backyard, it was like, boys, grab the axe. When it was time to knock down a wall, it was like, boys, grab the hammer. And it was time to rebuild that wall, it was, boys, grab the sheetrock. Like, we didn't hire anybody for anything. So Elon and I have always grown up with like the do-it-yourself mentality. Which I will tell you is probably one of our biggest roadblocks in our business, because if we reached out to our network and asked for the help, we would probably be a lot further along in our business.
Yeah.
So, we talk about this all the time in this community, Elon and I are fortunate. I'm just going to mute you up because we're getting a lot of feedback, and then I'll bring you back out. So we always talk about this in this community about having someone to hold you accountable to what you want to say. What you'll find is just a human trait is that one day we'll say what we want, and the next day the actions that we're taking are completely inconsistent with that which we just said that we wanted, right? So what often, and Elon and I are lucky in that way because we have each other to hold each other accountable. And trust me, Elon and I have some conversations that are really uncomfortable for the other person. And they happen like every few months. It's just like there's a build up and then there's like this conversation and then there's this like amazing relaxation and a lot of productivity in our business. And that's just kind of like our way of doing things. But I'll tell you this for all you guys, and we've said this on many other webinars, and a lot of people have taken action on it, and this is one of the reasons we use the commenting box on Facebook, is so that we're not the only ones seeing the questions, that you guys can experience what everyone's doing as a community, is to find someone who you have a good relationship with, or you're going to want to create a relationship in this community, and you guys should be connecting on a daily basis, sharing what you're creating today, and having that person check in with you the next day to hold you accountable to what you say you want. So if you're up to like, I want to know how to create 50 leads in the next 30 days on a daily basis, and like, okay, what do I need to do? And mastermind with that person, like, okay, what are the actions I need to take to learn the skills I need to learn in order to create 50 leads a day? And that's all you do for the next 30 days. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, you're like, all right, I need to do these 2 educations, then I need to apply them, and that's what I'm doing with my day. If you wake up the next day and those things aren't done, you need to have a person sitting behind you going, okay, like, why didn't you get that done yesterday, and how is that going to get done? Otherwise, I promise you, I have met the most willful, skillful, unbelievable people. Humans, by nature, are kind of slimy creatures, and we will let ourselves get away with crap. It's just the case in point. So I'll bring you back out here and like, just what did you hear?
Yeah, that is it. You've hit the nail on the head there with accountability. You know, if there isn't anybody to be accountable to, it's very easy just to sort of roll the task on for the next day, and the next day becomes the next day, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that goes for your health and your fitness. You know, when people are like, I want to lose 20 pounds and can never do it, what's missing is accountability. It's that's with people who can't find a relationship. They're not being accountable for the actions that they need to take in order to create the results. And, you know, like, I love The Secret and all that stuff that provided, but what they missed in that is that, like, action is still required. Like, you can visualize and you can do all those things, and the world will provide you with opportunities. It always will. But if you're not willing to take action on those opportunities, nothing happens. Results are a direct correlation to action, not from wishful thinking. But we're all socialized and brought up to believe, like, you know, weird things that are like hypotheses about how the way things work, and they just don't work. And that holds a lot of people back.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I know what I can do to perhaps find some help to get so that I can get that daily, or you know, at least every other day, get somebody there to to ask me if I've done what I need to do. That's great.
So my request to you is, bro, and I'll let you talk about after this. My request to you is, you know, again, use the box. Just reach out right now and be like, all right, who wants to like try this accountability thing? And not even try, like, who wants to be accountable together? Because I promise you 95% of the people on this line have exactly the same issue, know exactly what you're talking about, and need and want exactly what you were just talking about. So and we've done this before where people have just in this comment box, I know the 4 musketeers, right, who are like balling out in this business, they created that here on one of these calls, and they meet every single week, and they hold each other accountable, and their business is moving forward. So urge you to do the same thing.
Yeah. I will. Thank you.
Sure. Janice, one other thing I just want to say before I let you get off. I mean, I just heard you say that you went through 2 companies before you joined SFM, right?
Yes.
Similar type, like, you know, online or networking type businesses?
Yeah, it was building a website and then selling affiliate products. So it was similar sort of thing. Just building your business online, yes. Okay.
So here's what I want you to get, right? Like, in going back to that thing that I just read, you've put yourself, and we all do this in a specific circumstance. This is the 3rd go-around of a specific circumstance. You get that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
All right. So inside of that, right? So version 1, you left for a certain reason. Version 2, you left for probably, I'm assuming, the same reason, maybe wrapped up in a different wrapper. Version 3, you're in right now. Okay?
Could you repeat that last thing you said?
Yeah, I said so version 1 you left, and you probably
Yes.
justified it and said something to yourself, like, there was no community or support. Version 2, you left, you may have said the same exact thing, or you may have said something slightly different, but I'm assuming it still kind of stemmed from the same thing. And now you're in version 3. You with me so far?
Yes, sorry, I didn't hear what you said about version 3. But to me, I know that this is the right place for me. I'm 100% solid about that.
That I'm clear on. What I'm saying is you want to start dissecting what were the things that you did in the first 2 that were repetitive, right? Like what were the patterns that you did over and over in those 2? Because whatever you did there had you quit or, in your world fail, whatever it was. So in order to not repeat those things, like this is how we can learn those lessons, right? Everything comes wrapped up in a lesson. Every person you meet, every situation you're in. So as much as you love SFM right now, what would really serve you is go look at how that all transpired, what you had before.
I agree.
Figure out what you were responsible for, because it's very easy as a human to say, oh, it was no community or no support. But you know what? Like in the reality of realities, community is something we make up. What I mean by that is people can be in a room of 300 people and be the most alone person in the world. And someone could be in a room of 3 and feel like they're surrounded by, absolute love, support, and community. You get that?
I do.
Okay. So our world is our creation. It is what we say it is. So in your speaking, what I'm already noticing is like you love SFM, you love this community, there's this support, which is amazing because you're already speaking differently. But your speaking is what creates that world for you.
Yes.
And so if you're in a place right now, like let's go back to not being productive and all that stuff, if you keep repeating that stuff over and over, like I'm not as productive as I want to be, I'm not as productive as I want to be, well, that's the world that you get to live in.
Yep.
Whereas if you were to figure out, like, I always tell people the simplest thing to be productive is pick 2 or 3 things that you want to accomplish that day, and I guarantee you'll feel like the most productive person in the world. Because anyone can accomplish 2 to 3 things a day. Everyone. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, some days I do that, and it feels absolutely amazing.
Right? It's so simple. And that gives you the momentum to be like, oh my God, I'm going to have another one of those days. And that builds on itself. And it's just so simple, but we overcomplicate things. But just notice the conversation that you are around your business. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be very good for you to go back and figure out what conversations you had that really stumped you in the previous businesses.
Yes.
And are you seeing any of those same patterns again here? Because I would urge you to get those patterns out now.
I will. What I will do is I will write down those conversations that I'm having.
Brilliant.
With myself, and then I'll rewrite them.
Exactly. And just bring that newness to whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Shed that old skin.
I do feel it's shedding, but this is great because I feel that perhaps I would, I've just kind of got stuck again. I could feel that. I could feel that stickiness happening, and I thought, okay. So again, every week that I listen to you guys, you always seem to resolve the issue that I'm going through that particular week. It's absolutely incredible.
Well, we're actually watching you every step of the way. We're like Santa Claus, so we know exactly what you're doing.
I see. You're in my light fitting, are you?
Yeah, exactly. So it's brilliant. I love everything that you're saying, and go do that work, and
I will.
And we'll talk soon.
Hope so. Yeah. Thanks very much.
Cool, Janice. Thanks for coming on and being brave.
Okay. Bye.
And I just want to like wrap that with a bow. And this goes for everybody, guys. Like if you are struggling with something, I can nearly assert with a lot of certainty that this is not a new struggle for you. And I'm telling you guys, this goes for me and Elon just the same. We're not immune to this in any way. And it's not that there's a fix to it, but it's something to bring awareness to so that you can, like if you're not bringing awareness to something, then you're just on autopilot and you're just taking the actions that you've always taken. Because every person, every human being, at least in the way that we're socialized currently, maybe one day it'll change, you create a success formula by the time you're in your early teenage years. And this is the pattern that you follow in order to succeed in life. Now, most of the time it works for you, but in all the ways in which you don't know how to be successful, that failure is an abomination, and it doesn't work, and it frustrates you, and it ends up with you feeling guilty and upset, and you don't meet your expectations, and then you get down, and then you punish yourself, and then when you finish with all that, you start applying your formula again as if it's going to get you the result again, and you repeat it, and that's why life feels like a hamster wheel to a lot of people. Like the same crap, the same relationships, the same problems with business, all that stuff reappears. If that's your experience, and it probably is for most of us, you need to look at the pattern and say, what are start paying attention to the thoughts that are coming and the feelings that come after that, because they're leading you down the same path. So if you're taking Janice, this is her third business, right? And even though she's having the experience of being supported and getting what she needs, and she probably is shedding a lot of layers, and it's going to be a process. This stuff usually doesn't happen overnight. She's still dealing with the same stuff she was dealing with in her last two businesses. So for her, and this is probably, again, for all of us, is just to keep looking at, all right, what are the patterns that I've been repeating? Because if you keep doing what you've done, you're going to get the results that you've already gotten. And Janice doesn't want the results that she's already gotten. She wants to experience all new results in her life, ones that like blow her mind and make her wake up in the morning and say, wow, look what I'm accomplishing. Look what's happening in my life. Look at the choices that are now available to me. Look how much freedom I'm experiencing. So, guys, it's your job, and this is something, again, you can do with a person who's holding you accountable. If you feel stuck, it's not about complaining about that you're stuck. It's about sharing, like Janice just did, to, relieve yourself of it so it's not in your space anymore. I promise you that you have a limited amount of space to work with. If you know physics, things exist in space and time, right? So everything in the universe takes up space in time. If you're holding on to a thought, that thought is taking up space and time. If you are unwilling to give up that thought, there's nothing else you can create in that space until you give up that thought. Must let go of it. So my coaching here is just bring awareness. If you're getting the same results that you've always gotten, you're having the same issues, bring awareness and just take a listen, take a moment and be like, what are the thoughts I'm having? What is the actual thing that it's saying? How is that making me feel? And what actions am I taking based on it? And are these the same actions that I would have always taken? If they are, you're going to get the same results. Promise you. All right. Who else do we want to bring out here?
I saw Liam, and then I saw Kathleen.
All right, Liam, I'm going to bring you out here now, buddy. Hope you're ready. Thought I unmuted him, but nope. I'm only getting the option to mute him for some reason. Where is this? It won't let me unmute him for some reason.
Okay, so go to Kathleen.
Liam, I don't know, maybe you're not mic'd up or something like that, so the system's not working for me. I tried a few times. All right, Kathleen. All right, here she goes. Oh,
and I'm already seeing, by the way, after that comment, so we have, let me see, I just missed it. Fiona. Okay. Fiona wants to be accountable partner. Bledin wants an accountability partner. Steve Wilkes wants an accountability partner. Scott Taylor. This is awesome. Guys, pair up with each other. It will make your lives so much better.
Guys, another idea is someone just start a Facebook group, and just let SFM members in there, and you guys can be accountable for one another. We have our own mastermind group. I mean, you should ask the people who are part of it what kind of conversations are going on in there. It's like someone asks a question, and it's like 10 people are right there to answer it for them. There's no lapse time, so you're not not taking action. The whole point is to just be in action. You don't need to know what the right action is to take. Just take action so you can experience the result of that action. And if you don't like the result, take another action. But most people spend so much time thinking about what they're going to do next. They sit on the fence that there's no results around that. The action you're taking is sitting still. And that's not going to let you go anywhere that you want to go. Like Elon and I have gotten to where we got to quickly because we know how to keep taking action and not be slowed down by anything. And trust me, all these things that you guys talk about, we deal with them just like you do on a daily basis. But we have tools that enable us to move through them so fast that it would seem that they're not even an issue. But they are. We're human just like everybody else, clearly. I hope it's clear. All right. Kathleen, you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, guys.
You're our next caller.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Thanks for that. No, I was just thinking, because I'm actually still in hospital, and I've let this event slow my momentum down. Like, I got really caught up in an emotional situation and just stopped work completely. But I made a decision last night to take control because it doesn't look like I'm getting out of hospital anytime soon, so I decided to just bite the bullet and get back in the saddle and get back to work. So here I am.
Awesome.
But
Do
my
you want to share
problem
do you want to share what happened or no? Or does it matter?
No, it's quite long-winded. I have a very sick girl, little girl, and she's 7 years old, and it's been an ongoing thing, and it's going to be ongoing, so I've just had to, what happens is I normally don't share my situations with anyone, and I keep it to myself, and that's what I found I did with work as well. I didn't sort of reach out and say I'm in this situation and that I need help, or I need help to keep motivated to work. I kind of just shut down until I just pushed myself to get back in here, but knowing that I need to surround myself with the community to want to keep working. Yeah.
Brilliant. Kathleen, I just want to share something really fast with you, and maybe this will provide something, but when I got married with my wife, that's obviously, I'm one of these people, and like Guy said, we come from a family where we rarely ask for help. And
Yes.
we got married, and you know, when you're in marriage, it's supposed to be a partnership, right? But we got married, and we loved each other, and we still love each other. And what I realized was that I've always taken care of people around me. It was just like something I did. I took care of myself. I took care of her, and all of a sudden, I lost my job, and we had a kid on the way, and we were literally like our house was being foreclosed on.
Yeah.
And what happened was, for months, like, I had to stop paying the mortgage because I just didn't have money coming in, and it was probably like 4 months that this was going on, and I didn't even tell my wife. Like, I wasn't telling my wife that we weren't making mortgage payments, because in my head I was like, I'll figure this out. I'll make it work, whatever. And what I realized after that time was, we were just talking about lessons, right? So the universe sent me a big enough problem that it knew there was no way I was going to solve it on my own. It was that was not something I was going to solve on my own. And it was the first time I got thrown something so big where, you know what, I actually had to create partnership with my wife for truly the first time and have a very, difficult conversation for me to have. But I needed that partner to get through this thing. And up until that point, I was like the lone wolf that did everything and took care of everything on my own. So I was actually lucky enough, I think, to see it in time to be like, I can't do this on my own. And I got married to be in a partnership with this woman. So it was such an eye-opening experience. And, it's definitely made us so much stronger. And, like, the fact that I never have to keep anything from her is just amazing. So maybe there's something in that, because I hear a lot of it, like you don't share with people and you don't let people into what it is that you're dealing with. And maybe there's just one of those things where, that's something for you to deal with. Like, at some point you're going to get sent something that you just can't deal with on your own.
Well, I've been very lucky because being involved with the SFM at this time when this big event happened to me, two friends from the SFM, they reached out to me, and they have kept in touch with me, and I've been sort of not doing my workshops and things I should have been doing for my business I hadn't been doing because I've been caught up in this emotional turmoil, but trying not to be because I really believe in the law of attraction as well, so I'm thinking, okay, if I try not to focus on this emotional stuff, it's not happening, but it kind of is happening. So I'm trying to be really logical about it, and I thought, I am in a situation where I really have to get back to work. I've got to be doing things. My family is at home by themselves, and I'm in another part of the country, and you know, and this is looking like long term, so it's been the motivation that I need to actually get back to work. But having had, well, Sandra's just been an absolute trooper, reaching out to me continuously on a daily basis.
Wow.
And another young man here in our country, and they've just kept reaching out. So I made myself go to a meeting last night, and just from that it made me come to this meeting today, and I've got one tomorrow, and yeah, I think I'm ready to get back to our Satori Prime workshops too.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
so I think my problem was not reaching out, which, oh, excuse me, I've got buzzers ringing, not reaching out, which has been a big step for me. I've learned just coming here and listening to Janice and listening to you guys, it's sort of, I'm not scared or embarrassed now to reach out, and I'm not, you know, because I'm certainly not scared of the hard work.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
yeah, problem solved, guys. Thank you.
We didn't even do anything.
Just being here was enough. Just being here listening to everyone is just what I needed. Instead of shutting down, I needed to just get back in with the community.
Brilliant. And one other thing, just for everyone to share, what Kathleen basically just experienced is what we call getting out of monologue and into dialogue. Yeah. Because in our heads, our whatever mechanism, I don't even want to call it the brain because it's just more than that, our mechanism will make things so much bigger and so much worse than they could ever be. And what you just experienced is sometimes, like, in just speaking it like out of your mouth, leaving words and actually having a conversation with another person, it diminishes so much of the stuff that we make up in our heads. It is a very, very useful skill to hone in, that whenever you feel overwhelmed or you feel like the world is collapsing around you, or, you know, like we all have those moments,
yeah,
the thing to do is call someone and just speak it out, literally. And in that speaking it out, the whole, like, not the whole thing diminishes, but you'll see how much ease you have around that and how much better you will feel, and like what a different perspective you can get in literally 5 minutes time. So really well done, Kathleen.
Yeah. And,
thanks, Guy. Thanks, Ilan.
And here's my...
Hey, you guys, I'm going to have to go because...
Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I have to go now, but thank you so much, and I'm back. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Good to hear from you.
Thanks.
Bye, Kathleen.
Yeah, well, here's what I wanted to say, and this is just for everybody, and hopefully Kathleen can hear it also. You know, like, guys, what's predictable is anything that you discover, and this is something that took me years to like really own for myself, is anything you discover about yourself, because, you know, when you're disempowered, so Elon and I will say, anytime you're not experiencing freedom, power, and full self-expression, and you might want to write that down, it's freedom, power, and full self-expression, chances are you're having some kind of disempowering conversation with yourself. So like Elon said, what happened here is, you know, just getting out of your own head and expressing that, suddenly it starts losing its power over you, because that stuff had power over her. But here's what's predictable, is that the problem, I don't want to call it problems, but whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's predictable that it's going to come back. And what I used to do, and so I'll talk from my personal experience, is like, like something, now the next thing would happen, right? And I would start looking, and I would start, like, it's like going in the backyard where there's like a whole bunch of rocks, and you know that one rock has the key underneath it. And I would just like start flipping over all these rocks, like looking for what's the solution now? Like, how do I get past this thing? And the solution was always to go back to that first rock and just freaking uncover it. Like, that's where the key always is. It's always the same thing. You know, like, you might change your context of how you want to approach the issue, but the issues really don't change. It's just how we describe the issue that changes. There's, like, after working with so many people, I can tell you that there's like maybe 4 major issues that any human has, and everybody has them, and they're on repeat. So when you've been coaching for a long time and you talk to people, they think you're like clairvoyant. But it has nothing to do with clairvoyance. It has to do with just dealing with so many people that at some point you just notice the human pattern. You're like, wow, everybody's dealing with this crap. So you can literally pull a person out of like 1,000 people, pull them up, be like, is this the issue you're dealing with? And they're like, how the hell did you know that? But it's because everybody's dealing with it. So whatever somebody's talking about here, whatever Elon and I are talking about here, I'm sure everyone can relate to it. But just don't make it so hard on yourself for looking for where you got to go to work on, because chances are it's exactly where you looked the time before. Let me see if I can get Liam out here again. It's still not unmuting. I saw Brad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Brad Kirsch wanted to come out.
Okay. Was anybody before him? I just want to make sure we're going in order. No? Brad?
Yeah, go with Brad.
Okay. Mr. Brad.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, hello.
How's everybody?
I can't speak for everybody, but we're doing well.
Excellent. The thing I want to talk about is like my internal mechanism. You know, I'll visualize in my head doing something, and then I just can't put it into physical action. Like, a lot of it is I kind of get mentally, exhausted from it, and it doesn't accumulate to anything. Like, I know what I want to do, but at the same time, I kind of convince my head that it's already done when the physical action steps haven't been taken yet.
Okay, great. Can you just give me like the last thing that you did this with?
I guess like wanting to, send a email to my list. But it doesn't come in. It doesn't happen. Like, in my mind, I think it's already done, but obviously it's not being sent out, and there's no response, no results from it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the process is, just so I'm clear, the process is you think like, oh, I want to set, so you wake up in the morning, and stop me if I'm saying anything wrong. You wake up in the morning, you say, okay, today I want to write an email about X, Y, and Z to my list, and then what happens? What proceeds to happen for the rest of the day?
I'll kind of brainstorm for ideas and, kind of bounce around the whole spectrum of, what direction I want to go with it. And then it'll either go 2 ways. Either I'll get too many ideas, I go too many different directions, and just mentally I just give up, or, word this great email in my head and then just can't put it, in the print.
Okay. So, I mean, you have what I dub basically analysis paralysis, which is you're a very you're a thinker, yeah? You think a lot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Look, here's the thing, and this goes for everybody. However we're programmed, like each of us is programmed a specific way, okay? Like, one of the biggest things for me is I'm incredibly impatient. It is just, it's like the most difficult thing for me to break through, right? So I'm constantly bringing awareness to it, and I'm constantly working on it, whatever. Certain people are just thinkers. They like analyze and analyze and analyze and analyze, but they never get into action.
Mm-hmm.
The short to treat that thing is to actually take action. So we sometimes think that thinking about things is actually doing the work. like thinking is actually part of the action. Thinking has nothing to do with the action. Can you get that distinction?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So simply put, you have to realize that that is your mechanism. Your mechanism that will keep you playing the way you've always played, because it's the only way you know how to play, is by thinking about things. Now, it's gotten you to where you are today, so it's not. I don't want you to think of it as like a bad thing, right? Like, it served you pretty well.
Yeah.
But where you want to get to, like the next platform that you want to reach, you now have to take that out of the autopilot mode and use it when you want to use it to its effectiveness, but also add that other leg of action. And simply put, you need to do one thing. Just take one action. Write one thing down in the morning and complete that action. Like I told Janice, you know, like my day, I will choose 2 to 3 things that I want to accomplish that day. I keep it very simple. But at the end of the day, I feel super accomplished. I mean, they're big things, whatever, but like, that's it. So you need to just get into a habit of, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the best thing you've ever done in the world. It doesn't have to be strategically like the most insane whatever. It just needs to get done. Because thinking about producing something amazing will never produce anything amazing.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You know, I just have to make that transition from the, like you said, the thinking part to the physical action part.
Look, the shift is simple. The shift is realize, you have to make the switch that you have to start realizing that the thinking is the way that your body, machine, brain, whatever you want to call it, is naturally going to function. It is just it's like a computer program. You turn on during the day and it programmed to just run. And so you've gotten used to that way of living. What you're coming up against, like your wall that you're hitting right now, is that way of being is not effective to produce the results that you want to produce right now in your life. You clear?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you have a vision of what you want to accomplish, yes?
Yes.
Okay. That vision, that why, is what needs to drive you going forward. So when you get into the thinking mode, just know that that's where your body's going to go no matter what. That's the program, okay? But to reach the vision that you want to get to, which should always be in your forefront, like that's what I'm committed to, this is what I'm about, that should snap you out. And that's going to be the practice for you. That needs to snap you out of the, okay, I've done enough thinking. You know, give yourself a time limit. Say, okay, I have an hour to map this out. Hour 2, I'm actually going to implement. And that hour 2, you cannot do any more thinking. It's just pure implementation. Can you do that?
Yes, I can.
And that's it. It's very, very simple. And here's another thing. Your brain will so overcomplicate how you need to get out of this situation because you're so analytical. Like, in order to solve this thing, you've probably had, like, conversation with yourself till you're, like, you can't even breathe anymore on how to solve this issue because that's the way your brain works.
Yeah, it definitely is.
To shut the brain off, it just takes action,
Okay.
period.
And I would say the same thing that we told Janice is, like, you know, accountability in this case is just so important because you're looking to reprogram something that is so innate to you that unless there's somebody for you to mirror off of it, most of the time you won't even realize that that's the process that you're taking until you start having conversation with somebody and they're like checking in with you. So what'd you do today, Brad? And you're like, well, you know, I said I was going to do X, Y, and Z, but honestly, I didn't get any of those things done, and I'm like disempowered around that. And like, that alone, that claim, that truth, that honesty with another person will immediately have you snap out of it and be like, shit, all I have to do is take action today. The things that I said that I wanted to do, right? The other thing I would tell you is something that I've learned is if you are not writing things down physically, like putting them into the physical universe, most likely you won't do it. You need to write it down. You need to write it down. Like my practice is I wake up every morning, I have this leather-bound book, and I just put down like August 29th, and I just put my to-do list. I cannot even tell you how much more productive I am by doing that. Like I've tried the digital stuff and pop-ups and messages. There's so much pop-ups and messages from Facebook and my emails and stuff like that. I don't even pay attention anymore. I'm desensitized to it. But what's in my leather-bound book gets done.
Okay. I have a process, but, you know, kind of the overthinking part of from my end. I write down too much stuff. Like I'm too ambitious. I want to do everything, and you know, it like mentally it wears on you. It's just you start thinking I'm doing one thing, and then thinking, wait, I gotta get to this, and like 18 more things today. And like Elon was saying, just simplify it. Just pick one or two things to do it. Yeah, I'd say the only somewhat of a positive out of this is, you know, these thoughts get created in my head, and then they don't happen right away, but like 6 months later, I'm putting them into action, and you know, I kind of feel more prepared for it because I put so much thought into it, and you know, it's go time to take action. I just want to speed up the process on this. Like when I get the thought, put it into action right away instead of 6 months down the line.
Yeah.
Sure. Let me just tell you something, and this I think only comes with experience, but I want to just impart this on everybody here. Look, guys, we're all playing the game, right? Like, take all the seriousness out of it. I know money is like a big factor and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, money it's a freaking conversation in the world. It really has no true power over you. Granted, in the game that we're playing that we call life, you need money to like buy this and do that and all these kind of things, and that sucks, but it's just part of the game, right? So like, think of life as more of a game, and your business is just another piece of that game that you're playing. You choose how you want to play that game. Now, the moment that you understand the rules of the game, can't you always play the game better? I'm assuming most of you are nodding your head right now. If you know the rules, one of the rules in this game is you're going to freaking lose a lot. A lot more than you're going to win. And one of the things you need to accept is, and this is why I think people are in action so often, is because they don't want to take an action unless they think that they know that it's going to be a successful action. I'm not going to put up that ad because I don't want to risk that $10, right? Like, because I might lose. I might not get a lead from it. And then you're like, oh, shit, I just lost $10. The truth is you didn't lose anything. You just spent $10 to have an experience that invested in your business, and the next $10 you'll spend it better. Even if you lose that next $10 also, you'll invest that next $10 more wisely, and the next $10 more wisely after that, and the next $10 more wisely after that. Here's what Elon and I know. When we start a marketing campaign, or we put together a product, or we do a training, most likely when we start, it's going to fail miserably. That's what we know. But what leads to success is that failure. Because if we're not willing to have the failure, we better not be expecting the success. The best line I ever heard is someone told me mastery is failing at everything in a very narrow niche. So imagine if you had to learn, like a baby had to learn how to walk down a hallway, that baby is going to bump into every wall, scrape every knee before it learns how to walk down that hallway perfectly straight and go from one room to the next. It doesn't happen without failure, and I promise you, I've been around Elon's kid a lot over the last 2 years. He falls a lot, but he doesn't add any meaning to the fall, so he just keeps going. And that's why kids learn so fast, because they don't add meaning to any of their failures. When you become an adult and we're all wise and crap, which we're not, we're the exact opposite of wise, we add meaning to everything. So every failure, it's like you dump like, oh, and my mother did this to me, and my girlfriend broke up with me in 1969, and like it just, you pull everything that's ever happened to you out of your bag and you make it mean that. And then it's like, well, I'm not going to take that action then. So you just got to get over it and just know that part of it is just it's failing miserably. That's, in my opinion, that's life. Fail hard, fail often, and move on.
Well said.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Thank you.
You got it, my friend. Anything else?
No, I mean, really hit the nail on the head. And you know, I look back the years when I played baseball. You know, I really had to dumb myself down from the thinking process because all that matters then is action. And
Yep.
you know, anyone ever played baseball will tell you you can't think. You just kind of got to react. And that's what I had to do. And, you know, once baseball ended, I got more into the thinking mode. And, you know, it's kind of been through a cycle, so I realized that, you know, the action's the biggest speaker. You know, thoughts are very powerful, but they mean nothing unless, you know, they're put in a physical form.
Very well said. Very well said.
So, yeah, thank you.
All right, bud.
Appreciate
So your new game is wake up, scratch that whole to-do list, pick your top 1, 2, 3 things tops that you want to accomplish, and start there. And just spend, you can give yourself, be like, look, brain, you want to have your field day, you get 30 minutes, an hour tops to like plan this all out. You set a timer. When that timer buzzes, you go into action mode, no matter what. And trust me, your brain's going to be like, no, 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 we need more thinking, blah, blah, blah. Because that's what it's going to do. You're like, no, action time. And just start that practice, and I guarantee you it'll shift everything that you're doing right now.
Definitely will. Appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks
You
for
got
coming
it,
out.
Thanks.
All right. Anybody else that wanted to come out here? I didn't see anything in the box there after bed because everyone's trying to get their accountability partner. Guys, yeah, I mean, I seriously think we should talk about that once a month. Be like, you need an accountability person. It's just so critical. I can't even, you know, and I think that's one of the biggest problems in this industry. It's a lone ranger type of industry because you can run the business by yourself, but ultimately it doesn't yield you the results that you want. I never really thought of that as an issue before, but it's a huge issue.
What, the connecting?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you think of the issues in the industry like, oh, lack of training, lack of support, lack of things like that. You don't think like accountability partner as like one of the reason that 97% of people don't get to where they want to get to in this industry.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's huge. You know, we're just lucky that we put ourselves in a circumstance and we've had a lot of training around stuff like that to know that results don't come without it.
Yeah.
They don't.
All right, so let me read the rest of that thing because it'll just wrap this up really nicely.
Okay.
So back to the wonderful Robin Sharma. All right. Well, every single thing that you hate about, okay. Okay. And since you learn far more from what's not working in your life from what is, all that's not working is a gift. Milton Erickson wrote, life will bring you pain all by itself. Your responsibility is to create joy. Since you discover more about yourself through failure than through success, make failure a friend that you value and learn from. Create joy through it. What do you mean by make failure a friend? Well, every single thing that you hate about your life, every single thing that irritates you in your days, and every single thing that causes you stress is a very important teacher. The things that press your buttons offer your best clues about what needs to grow and evolve within you. The things that you dislike about your life, your irritations, and your stressors are all nothing more than vehicles that carry the lessons you need to learn to pass the course you're currently in and move on to the next one. In doing so, I'll move to the next part of my life. Exactly. So all the things I don't like about my life are actually my best friends and greatest teachers because they help me get to my destination, my ideal life. And your highest self, which he says I'll talk more about later, but for now, just know that life is this extraordinary growth school, and everything that happens to you is quite divine. It is a very amazing setup, really, the way this intelligent universe of ours works. I'm going to reread this book. It is just that good.
It is really just that good. All right, guys. I mean, I this wasn't even so much as a coaching session as it's like just a context for what success looks like in life. And like I said, we are not immune to it. Jay is not immune to it. Stuart is not immune to it. We all just have systems in place and things that we know how to do that allow us to move past them with a lot of velocity. And if there's anything that I can impart on you that you walk away with is train that muscle, just like it's when we're talking about accountability partners, it's the same reason you go to the gym and you get a personal trainer. You can go get those results by yourself, but that person standing over you and hawking at you is going to get you those results faster. So your choice here is how quick do you want it, and what are you willing to do it? But I could tell you that if we were talking about a game, right? So a game, you could put a context around it. You know what the best context to get your ass in gear is? Put your life at stake. Like, actually have it that if you don't get this, if you don't succeed here, like, you're going to die. Because I know, and that sounds really crazy, but I know for me, like, I started this business and I was so passionate about what I was doing. And I was working so hard, and the results weren't really coming the way that I thought they would in the time frame that when you get started, you're like, I'll be a millionaire in 6 months. You tell everybody. And then that didn't happen. So I didn't stop for a second, though, because my thought was, I like this so much. I'm so passionate about it. It took me almost 30 years to find this passion, to find my purpose here. I'm like, if I leave this and I go get a job, I was thinking about how I would feel, like how dispassionate I would feel. Or I'm like, what other business would I do that I would feel passionate about, right? And I was like, I can't quit this, because if I go do something else, I'm never going to do it with the drive that I'm doing this thing right now. And if this drive can't lead me to success, what chance do I have doing anything else? Because I'd never seen myself work that hard before. I was putting in 16-hour days, and it felt like nothing to me. So I was sitting there going, what else would I do that I would work this hard at that I could expect that I would be successful at it? And I couldn't think of one other thing. And for me, I was like, it's either this or dying, because that was what the other part felt like. And when that happened, that's when it was like fire. So just figure out what you need to create as a context to have it be that way for you. Because trust me, the alternatives out there, as most of you know from personal experience, they truly suck. In America, they recently took a poll, and 72% of people freaking hate their job. Not despise, not like kind of don't like them, hate their job. Hate their job. The fact that you get to sit at home and, be educated and be part of this community, that in itself is already a gift you've given yourself. The moment I started my business, I felt retired. I didn't have to wake up to an alarm clock anymore. I got to make my own schedule. I got to take days off if I needed to. And granted, I would make myself feel guilty here and there about that. But it's like, but I was on my own schedule. I was my own boss. I was free. I had no money, and I felt more free than when I had a lot of money. Your choice.
Well said, buddy.
All right, guys. Been an awesome session. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And we're not on next week, but we will come back, and I'm sure between now and then there should be some new announcements about some roles that we're going to take in the community, and how we want to help you guys get to the next level and what that's going to look like. So get ready, because this last quarter of this year is going to be freaking amazing. Talk soon.
Bye, guys.